You don't need a $15,000 microphone to get professional sounding vocals. Some of the biggest songs in the world, like Ocean Eyes by Billie Eilish and Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, were all recorded on this $100 Audio-Technica AT2020 microphone. The secret is never the mic. It's how you record it, mix it, and layer it. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 tips to get the best sounding vocals with only using stock plugins. So with that being said, let's get into it. Step 1, get the right room and the best performance. You want a room that's dry. Try clapping and listening to the reflections of the room. If there's too much reverb in your room, you might want to find a different room, or find a way of isolating any reflections by hanging a blanket over you and the microphone. Now, before you even touch the DAW, you need to nail the performance. Make sure you're in a comfortable headspace and you've rehearsed all of your lines a few times. And if there's anyone in a room making you feel anxious, kick them out. Don't just do one take and hope for the best. Record 5, 10, 15 takes if you need to. Then take the best parts of each vocal to build one strong vocal. This is what you call vocal comping. Now, pro vocal engineers don't just keep the vocal on one volume level. They adjust the volume using automation for any section that might sound too soft or too loud before using any mixing effects. This is important because each plugin that I'm about to show you reacts differently to the volume of the vocals. And honestly, this alone can make your vocals sound way more professional. Step 2 is cleaning up the vocal with EQ. Most YouTubers will tell you to low cut from 80 Hz, but I wouldn't recommend this for low voices, as this can cause phase shifting, which would make the vocal sound more hollow and less punchy. Instead, use a low shelf to keep the body of the vocal while cleaning up space in the mix. Now, if the vocal sounds boxy or muddy, check around 200 to 500 Hz and gently cut some of that out. Then listen for harshness. If the vocal is piercing your ears or sounds sharp, check around 2K to 5K. Don't go crazy, just cut a little bit off. The goal of EQ is not to make the vocal sound fancy, it's to remove what's getting in the way of the full song. Instead of boosting what you want to hear more of, it's better to use EQ to reduce what you want to hear less of. So it's really important to do this step while listening to the other sounds in your whole track. So basically, don't have your vocals soloed this whole time. Step 3 is to make your vocal punchy using compression. When you listen to a raw vocal, some parts might sound too soft and some really loud. That's where compression comes in. Compression helps the vocal sound smooth, controlled, and upfront in the mix. Here's a simple way to hear what compression is doing. What you want to do is turn the ratio up high first. This will actually help you hear what you're doing. Then you want to pull down the threshold until you can hear it working. The way I see it working is I see that there's movement on this needle. Then you want to adjust the attack and release until the vocal fits in the mix of the song. In general, a longer attack and release is better suited for smooth, soft, and intimate vocals, while a faster attack and release is good for rap vocals or metal style vocals. And finally, don't forget to take the ratio down to a more musical level, which is around 2 to 8. Step 4, reverbs and delays. Now, this is where beginners usually ruin their vocal. They add too much reverb and suddenly their vocal sounds like it's in the back of the cave underneath the ocean. Help! What you want to do is use reverb like sauce. Just add a little flavor here and there. Too much hot sauce will ruin the whole thing. So don't put reverb directly on the vocal. Put it on a bus or send instead. That way you can control it properly. What I like to do is start with a short reverb, then adjust the decay time. If the reverb is too long, it will wash the whole vocal out. Then you want to add some pre-delay. Pre-delay gives the vocal a tiny bit of space just before the reverb kicks in, and this helps to keep the vocal clear and upfront. But with the background vocals, we don't want them to sound in your face, so you can actually skip the pre-delay so they don't sound upfront in the mix. And sometimes for faster vocals like rap, instead of a big reverb, use a short delay and a small reverb. A short slap delay can make the vocal feel wider and deeper without pushing it too far back. So remember, reverb gives space, delay gives depth, but the vocal still needs to stay in front. And you can always automate these settings to make it feel like the vocal is moving throughout the song. And step 5, the final step, vocal layering. Pop stars like Beyonce, Mariah Carey, even Michael Jackson are known for their insane amount of vocal layers. Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody had over 180 vocal tracks. They spent days, even weeks, singing the same lines over and over to get their famously huge sounding vocal stacks. But this is how you make your vocals sound bigger, wider, and way more emotional. What you don't want to do is duplicate your vocal and turn it up. That usually makes it sound messy and phasey. You actually want to record brand new layers. Start with your main lead vocal in the center. That's the vocal that everyone needs to hear clearly. Doubles are extra takes of the same vocal, but slightly quieter underneath. You can pan one slightly to the left and one slightly to the right to make the vocal feel wider. Then you want to add some harmonies. Harmonies don't need to play all the way through the song. You can bring them in on the most important lines, the hook, the emotional words, the big moments. Have fun with it, and it's all down to your taste. And if you want that huge modern pop sound, stack your backing vocals. When you're layering your backing vocals, try plugging your nose like this or lowering your jaw like this. Sing around the mic like this. The goal is to sound like different people. Record a few high harmonies, a few low harmonies, pan them left to right and turn them down and let them support the lead vocal. You can even use controller to swap your voice into new voices to make it sound like a choir. So remember, the lead vocal should always feel like the main character and the layers should feel like the background cast. They're there to make the lead sound better and not to fight with it. So there you have it, the world's shortest vocal mixing course. Get the recording right, clean it up with EQ, control it with compression, add space with reverb and delay, then layer your vocals to make the whole thing sound bigger. You don't need expensive gear to get good vocals, you just need to understand these steps. Master this and you'll get way more cleaner, way more professional vocals with any mic that you already have. If this helped, hit subscribe for more music production tips. And if you like this video, then you might like this video where I show you how to turn your voice into any instrument. Catch you in the next one. Peace.